What's going on, guys? Eric Idison here, sales manager at the Honest Agent team and GG Homes. Today, one of my favorite trainings, we're going to be talking about call training. And specifically, in call training, we are going through the templates. So if you're getting started with us here today, pull out the real estate call template script. We're going to go ahead and go over this together. So, starting off, call training. Here's the deal, guys. Everything in real estate is a funnel, right? Your leads come in up here, or leads that are inputted into our databases start up here, and it goes into this funnel. Eventually, you'll do transactions here at the bottom. And this is you fired up, closing up transactions here at the bottom, okay? This first layer here, if you're doing outbound prospecting, okay, is your initial call. Today, we're talking about the call training for the initial call and also specific pieces within that call, okay? In there's 5 different pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 1, it's your intro. Okay, you're going to assess, you're going to qualify, you're going to schedule, and you're going to confirm. These are the 5 pieces of the call template here. And here, guys, in this funnel, what's going to happen first? First, you have to start off with an intro. If your intro isn't very good, guess what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to get down to part 2 or part 3, 4, or 5. So if you're brand new, here's my recommendation. Get really, really good at the intro first and then move on to the next piece. Obviously, you need to have all this together, but you need to nail an intro. Is an intro difficult to do? No. Here's my recommendation. Once you do get it down, go ahead and record yourself doing it and repeat it to yourself until you have it down, memorized, locked and loaded, and you're just flawless on it. You have good tonality, and good pacing, and you're getting good response rates from your prospects. So number 1, your intro here. So let's go ahead and dissect this a little bit further. The intro, okay? First part of the intro is you verify the owner, okay? If you're calling on Mojo, for example, it's going to show you a handful of different names on the title for that property, okay? If that title for the property, there's a gentleman named, for this example, John Smith, okay? And you're calling, doing outbound prospecting, and you hear what sounds like a male voice, okay? How do you want to respond to this? You're going to say, hey, is this John? Okay, self-explanatory. If the answer is yes, you're going to assume that that is his property on 123 Main Street, okay? Now, let me give you another example. What if a female, where you think it's to be a female that answers the phone, there's only a John Smith listed here. You can do one of 2 things. You can say, hi, I'm looking to reach Mrs. Smith. Or, secondly, I'm looking to reach the property owner at 123 Main Street. Do I have the correct number? Okay? Other things with verifying the owner. If you don't know how to pronounce a name, okay, you can do one of 2 things. You can say, is this the property owner at 123 Main Street? Or I'm looking to reach the property owner at 123 Main Street. Do I have the correct number? Okay. Or secondly, you can almost say, hey, look, I'm going to botch this, most likely, but bear with me. I'm looking to reach whatever the name is. Okay, I'm not going to go into any names right now, but you can do the imagination. Okay, so if you don't know how to pronounce it, I can say, hey, I apologize, I'm probably going to botch this, but I'm looking to reach this person. Do I have the correct number? Okay. Here's the whole deal. You have to verify your owner first. What happens if you don't verify your owner? Well, then you don't know who you're talking to, and you can go through the entire pitch on your intro talking to the wrong person. They're going to be really weirded out, and that's where you're going to get a lot of negative feedback. So you want to avoid that. You always want to verify your owner before you get into your scripting, okay? So this is part 1 of the intro. I'm going to go ahead and write it down here, and we'll go back to assessing, qualifying, scheduling, and confirmation later. Okay, so number 1, verify. Okay, then you're going to say who you are, who you are with, reason for call, what you want to do, and then lastly end with an alternative option question. Okay, I'm going to abbreviate a little bit here. Okay, so let's go through this, dissect this. Who you are. Hey, this is Eric. Okay, I'm not saying last names. I don't need people all of my business by last name. I just need a first name. Okay, who I am, who I'm with. Here's the deal, guys. On outbound prospecting, when we do 1 million plus phone calls per year, what's going to end up happening is if you say, hey, I'm with the Honest Agent team, I'm with GG Homes, I'm with Big Block Realty, there's going to be a handful of people out of those 1 million that get a call that are, just have too much time in their hand. We're trying to avoid that. We don't want negative reviews and negative feedback on our sites. So what do? For outbound prospecting, let's say you're calling a prospective cash deal or a listing, okay? Hey, this is Eric. I'm working with a buyer, okay, that's interested in your neighborhood. That's who I'm with. I'm with a buyer. That's who I'm with, okay? Now, the one time that we are going to be saying who we're with, or a couple times, let me get some examples. If we're doing notice of default calls, and it's its own training, so don't worry, we're not going to go into depth on this training here. For that, we're saying we're with a San Diego advisory group, because guess what? We are a San Diego advisory group. We don't tell them our exact names yet, but in the initial call, we're saying we're with a San Diego advisory group, okay? If you're calling Buyer Pond, okay, or some of our buyer leads, maybe they just routed into you and you're reaching out to them. Say, hey, is this Mary? Hey, Mary, this is Eric. This is when I can say I'm with the Honest Agent team. Okay, the reason I'm calling is because you just inquired on our website, thehonestagentsandiego.com. Okay, I was calling today to set up an appointment with you to get a game plan together to help you on your home search. Let me ask you this before we get into scheduling. Mary, are you just kind of casually browsing online, or are you actively in the market looking for something? Okay, that would be an initial call script where I can say exactly who I'm with. Now, if I'm calling Buyer Pond, it's an older lead, they might not remember this registration, so keep that in mind. So I would just say, hey, my name's Eric. I'm giving you a call because you had inquired online about some property in San Diego. Okay, I help a lot of clients find their dream home. I was wondering, are you still looking for something, or do you already find what you're looking for? Okay. So that's the one time you can say who you are specifically. Otherwise, leave company names out towards the middle or end of the call once you've already had some type of conversation with them. Okay. So who you are, who you're with, reason for the call. Okay. There's a variety of different reasons that you could be calling. Okay. Let's say you're circle prospecting because you have an open house coming. Hey, this is Eric. I'm representing the seller across the street. The reason for the call, I wanted to invite you out to the open house we're having on Saturday from 1 to 4. Okay. Let's say you're just doing a cash deal script. Hey, the reason for the call, I'm working with a buyer that's looking to put an offer on a home in the next probably 1 to 3 months. Would you entertain an offer on your property on Main Street anytime in the next 1 to 3 months? Or do you plan on holding on to the property longer? Notice my last sentence there. I gave him a time frame question. I'm asking, hey, would you take a look at an offer in the next 1 to 3 months? Or do you plan on holding on to the property longer? Okay, that's an alternative option question. Let's dissect alternative option questions a little bit further. Hopefully you guys are good to go on this. Verify the owner, who you are, who you're with, reason you're calling, what you're looking to do, an alternative option question. By the way, what you're looking to do most of the time, you can just tell, hey, I'm looking to set up an appointment. You can say that from the beginning. It'll increase your conversion rates, especially if you're calling someone who has a tremendous need. Someone has a notice of default, someone who just inquired online about properties, maybe a Zillow lead, whatever it be, okay? I'm gonna erase this here. So I guess we'll jump into this real quick. Intro, okay? Once your intro is good, then you can get into these next parts, like assessing, which we'll get into, qualifying, scheduling, confirmation and show rate, right? This all just goes down the funnel. Okay, this is who's going to stay in it. So this is the intro. Let's talk about alternative option questions. I'm going to go ahead and erase this here. We'll do it all on this side. What are alternative option questions? Okay. It is 2 plus options in the form of a question. These are fantastic for getting people to respond in a manner that you would like. So I'm going to give someone 2 options where either way I win, okay? So let me give you a couple of examples. If I'm in scheduling, which we're going to get to later in the call, do you work during the days? Or are you off during the days? So I can question them about their availability. Do I care whether they work during the days or off of the days? No, I win either way. Why? Because I get them to respond. In regards to our intro, okay, would you take a look at an offer in the next 1 to 3 months? Okay, or do you plan on holding it longer than a year? What's my goal here? My goal here isn't, my goal here is to get them to respond, okay? I just want to know, what is your time frame? But I'm going to give them two options. They're more likely to respond. Versus if I were to ask them a close-ended question, hey, do you want to sell? Most of the time, it's really easy for them to answer no. What's going to end up happening is you're going to be missing all of those people that say, no, I don't want to sell, but really they want to sell in 12 months. But because you didn't ask the question correctly, you weren't able to uncover that piece of information. That's why you want to utilize alternative option questions. You can do 2+ options. Here's the deal. I wouldn't go more than 3 when giving people options. You give them too many options, it'll confuse them. So try to keep it to 2. At some instances, it does make sense for 3. So for example, notice of defaults that are brand new. Are you currently in a loan mod? Are you just exploring options? Or is this like your first time hearing about it? Right, that'd be a good time to ask 3 different options. Okay, so that's the alternative option question. Here's the deal, guys. You're all gonna have your own style when calling homeowners, buyers, etc. This is going to give you a template to base it off of. Why is this effective? Why is this effective here? Verifying the owner, number 1, who you are, who you're with, reason for call, what are you looking to do, an alternative option question. Let me explain what would happen if you don't do these things. Okay? If I don't verify the owner, guess what? I could be talking to the wrong person. I'm going to go long-winded, waste people's time. Okay? And they might get upset if it's not the right person. That's why that's so important. Self-explanatory. Secondly, if I don't tell them who I am, what are they going to say? They're going to give me a reflexive response saying, well, who are you? Right? If I don't tell them who I'm with, okay, even if it's arbitrary, like I'm working with a buyer, okay, they're going to ask, well, who are you with, right? If I don't tell them why I'm calling and what I'm looking to do, well, they're going to say, well, why are you calling? What do you want from me? Those are the types of responses that we're going to refute the objection in advance by laying it all out there with our intro, okay? And guess what? The alternative option question, it gives them 2 easy options that they can respond into. So now I can navigate the structure of the call. And remember, I'm giving them 2 options where either way I win. Obviously, I'm looking for people that want to sell in the next 1 to 3 months, but am I also okay with people that want to sell longer than a year? That might sell in more than a year? Absolutely. I'm just going to move these to long-term follow-up, depending on if it's a real reason to sell in a year, not today. So that is the intro. Second, this is your assess, okay? Based on your alternative option question, you're going to get a handful of different responses. So let's go ahead and break down what those responses are. You're going to get reflexive responses, which I'll get to in a second. You're going to get an answer to your question within the parameters of what you asked. You'll get an answer to a question outside of parameters. Okay? You're going to get a not interested. And then sometimes you'll get a random tangent. Or you got the wrong number. Okay. Lovely writing here. So let's break these down. What's a reflexive response? You're going to hear a lot of this, especially if you're brand new on the phone. Brace yourself. You're going to get reflexive responses. Reflexive responses are responses that homeowners, prospects, buyers, okay, give to you because they're coming out of a state of fear. They're trying to protect themselves, so they'll say things that deflect any additional involvement because it's coming out of a place of fear. Because a lot of times when you're answering the phone, you don't know who it is, right? People move into a fearful state. That's why you get those reflexive responses. What are some common reflexive responses? I'm busy. Okay. Who are you? Okay, we just talked about this. What do you want? Okay, I'm walking into a meeting. I'm sure you guys have all heard these. Okay, call me later. Okay, these are just defense mechanisms for them to try to get off the call right away. Good salespeople get past these reflexive responses in the beginning and expect these to happen, okay? Those are reflexive responses. How do I deal with a reflexive response if someone says, I'm busy? Well, fantastic. I understand you're busy. I'll make this very quick. And then go ahead and re-ask the question if they didn't answer your question. Do you want to sell in the next 1 to 3 months? Or do you plan on holding on to this property longer? Who are you with? Oh, yeah, no problem. I guess you didn't hear it. My name is Eric. I'm working with a buyer interested in this property. I'm just going to re-ask the question, okay? I'm going to acknowledge them, okay? Let them feel heard, and then re-ask my question. I'm walking into a meeting. Okay, fantastic. I'll make this quick. Just to confirm, did you have any interest in taking a look at an offer in the next 1 to 3 months, or do you plan on holding on to this property for longer? Okay, you can even add into it. If so, if you are interested, I'll give you a call back later on. I just need to know if you're interested. Okay? Call me later. Well, perfect. I'll just ask you real quick, and then depending on your response, I'll give you a call back later. If you are interested in selling, I'll absolutely give you a call back later. You guys get that? So those are reflexive responses. Sometimes people, reflexive responses, get angry and start yelling. Here's the deal. Just go ahead and get rid of them. If you really want to go to battle with some of these people, maybe they're in a certain emotional, distressful state, and going to battle is advantageous. That's an additional training. You can kind of mirror match energy levels, and you might be able to convert someone who's originally pissed off and bring them back in. One other one that I think I can point out is, you're the 10th person that called me. Here's how I would respond to something like this. Oh, wow, you had 10 other people that called you, 9 other people that called you, and you still didn't get this problem resolved? What's going on here? We have to get this fixed. Okay? Do you want to sell this property or not? Or, what's the game plan for what you're currently doing, right? The reason 10 people would be calling, maybe it's an expired, maybe it's a divorce, maybe it's a default. That's why a lot of other people would be calling. Get angry with them if they're angry that you're the 10th person that called them, and then say, hey, we got to get this fixed. Okay? Let's answer to question within the parameters. Yeah, I'm looking to sell in 1 to 3 months. What do you do here? You go straight into this next part, which is qualifying. Okay? Yeah, longer than a year. Let's say they say longer than a year, and you're talking about time frame. Go ahead from there, clarify. Got it. So you're looking to sell in just over a year, or longer than a year. Does that mean more like 12 months? Is that more like 36 months? What type of time frame are you really looking at? So I want to go ahead and ask a clarifying question about their time frame, which is a qualifier. Okay. Answer outside of parameters. Okay. This could be something like, yeah, we're going to sell, but I'm not sure when. Okay. What do you do here? Got it. Well, why would you sell? Move into some of the other qualifiers, or just kind of clarify that time frame if you're asking that question. Maybe you're asking about a buyer, and your alternative option question was, are you casually browsing, or are you actually looking for something in the market? If someone says, well, it's not for me, okay, that would be an answer that's outside of the parameters, okay, but it doesn't mean they're not motivated. Just maybe it's for someone else. Well, got it. Talk to me. Who is this person that's buying? So just go ahead and do some clarification is what I mean. Okay? Not interested. Okay? Here's the deal. A lot of people will instinctively, it's almost kind of a reflex response, just say I'm not interested. You can do one of two things. You can just go ahead and dead lead them and move on to the next contact, which most of you will do. Or you can ask them another follow-up question. Well, got it. Well, what price would motivate you to sell if you had to sell it? Okay? That might be able to re-engage them. So ask them another question similar, or maybe an offshoot of your original question, someone that's not interested when they say they're not interested. Because a lot of times that just means that they just want to talk to you right at this moment. It's crazy because I'll call someone and they'll say they're not interested, and another person calls them literally 8 hours later and they are interested. I understand this happens all the time. Okay, some people are just going to go off on a tangent. Try to get them back in focus and ask to whatever that you're looking to do, get them back on track and answer that question. So they start off a tangent, you ask them they're looking to buy or sell, and they're like, well, you know what, the rain gutters and the roof and all this stuff on the neighbor's house, the neighborhood's doing this, and all this commotion's going on, and blah, 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 and are you up to date with the neighborhood? Like, that's a tangent, right? Get them back on track. Well, let me talk about your house, okay? Are you looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Wrong number, okay? Ask them, well, I apologize. Actually, I'm sorry, don't say I apologize. God, I have the wrong number. But let me ask you this, maybe you can help me out. Do you happen to know the correct telephone number for this owner that we're looking for? Okay. God, it sounds like I got the wrong number, but maybe you can help me out. Okay. Do you have the phone number for this individual? I really need to get in touch with them. Thank you so much. Okay. That's how you would deal, and this is the assessment portion. Okay, let's move on. Third, qualify. This is where the rubber meets the road, okay? Let's talk about how to qualify. What are we looking for when qualifying a lead? Okay, so on this column right here, I'm going to talk about listings and cash. And on this side, we'll be talking about a buyer. So for both listings, cash, and buyer, number one, what is the motivation? People aren't motivated to sell, they're likely not going to sell. Second, time frame. And we start a lot of our intro with an alternative option about time frame. So this a lot of times get answered right out of the gates. Third, on the listings and cash side, this is going to be the condition. Okay? On the buyer side, this is criteria. Okay. 4, price for listings and cash, what they think it's worth. And this side is more of a qualification. Or what can they afford? Conversation. Okay. And then fifth, what is the competition? Here's the deal, guys. When going through these qualifiers, if there's ever a time where there's something juicy or something that you feel like you should be setting an appointment because you can solve a need for this, buyer or seller, go ahead and schedule the appointment right then and there. You don't have to get all 5 done and then schedule. You can schedule any time in here, just make sure it's a good enough reason. Okay? And what happens if you do schedule, go back and then get the rest of the qualification afterwards. Okay? A big mistake is when, especially when you're new on the phones, or maybe you come more like an intermediate level, you're like, okay, yeah, I know how to qualify. So you start going through all these qualifications, and they might be excited right here talking about their motivation and time frame, and you could get them right then and there for an appointment. But then you start talking about the condition and the price and the competition, and they start to get overwhelmed, and they decide, hey, I don't really want to do this meeting anymore. Okay? So whenever you have that moment where their energy levels are good, your rapport levels, your agreement levels are up and together, you want to go ahead and ask for the business and schedule right then and there, and then come back and circle and get these checked off. Whether on another follow-up call, at the back end of that call, or even at the next meeting where you do meet them in person. Okay? So let's go ahead and dissect this here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this chart so we have more room here on the board. But qualifying into scheduling into confirmation. Motivation, okay? What's a good question you can ask about motivation? Why would you sell / buy this / a home? Very self-explanatory. Here's the deal. Whatever they respond with, you want to then dive deeper on, okay? You would want to ask them another open-ended question. Okay, let's say you would ask, why would you want to sell this house or this home? Well, the kids are graduating, we want to downsize. Okay, got it. Downsize. Why do you think downsizing would be a good idea for you guys once the kids move out? That would be a good other follow-up question to dive deeper. You want to really hook them in on their motivation, get them thinking about it, and give more information. I'm looking to gather as much information as I possibly can in this qualifying so that I can go ahead and ask for the business, okay? So why would you sell or buy this house, okay? Alternatives of this question could be something like, this seems like a great home. Why would you sell this thing anyways, okay? Are you sure you need to sell it? What happens if you don't sell it, okay? Or what happens if you don't buy, okay? Maybe it's a buyer. Are you renting right now? Got it. So you think it's important to stop renting and move into home ownership. Is that accurate? That's a closed-ended question, okay? It's a rhetorical question in a sense where I kind of know the answer. It's a leading question. I'm leading them into an answer that I want. These are all things that you want to dive into with motivation. Here's the thing. You want to dive a couple layers deep, okay? If someone says, why, you ask them, why would you sell this house? Well, we just inherited it. Okay, got it. So why would selling this house that you just inherited, what's that going to do for you? What are you going to be doing with the money? Okay, another great question to ask for people that have equity in their house. What are you going to be doing with the proceeds? Where are you moving next? What happens if you don't get to where you're looking to move? Okay. Motivation. So we're going to move on to time frame. And by the way, guys, these do not have to be any specific order. In fact, what I'll tell you is, in the beginning of a call, if you don't have a lot of rapport and people are being kind of short with you on the phone, talking about something easy, which would be condition, because it's not very intrusive and people like to talk about their own stuff or themselves. And so condition's a good starting point, especially if someone's being short on the phone, or you feel like there's not much rapport or agreement happening, you can ask about condition, okay? So these can go in any other order, but we're going to talk about the second one here is time frame. This coincides with motivation a lot. The motivation will start to create their time frame, okay? And their time frame could increase their motivation levels. You guys get that? So like if someone's on a time frame where they have to sell because they're buying a new house, right? Their motivation level to sell is going to increase exponentially because their time frame is collapsing on them. But questions about time frame, okay? Would you sell this thing in the next 1 to 3 months? Or do you think it'll be longer? That's an alternative option question on time frame, okay? In an ideal world, when would you move? Okay? Say 6 months. Okay, got it. And what would happen if you didn't move in 6 months? What would happen? What would that look like for you? Double down. Again, just like motivation, double down on why that time frame is important to that prospect. Okay? Those are questions on time frames. Other things, are there any other moving parts that would force you to have a must-move by date? Ideally, what is your must-move by date? Okay? Time frame. On to number 3. We're going to talk about condition first in regard to sellers. And we're going to talk about criteria for buyers. Condition. Okay? The question I like to ask the most is, have you done any renovations in the last 3 to 5 years? Or is it more original? Yeah, Mr. Seller, have you done any renovations in the last 3 to 5 years, or is it more original condition? Boom. It's another key word from saying, is your house in good condition or does it kind of suck, right? Dive deeper on this. Well, you know what? Yeah, we did renovations, but it was about 10 years ago. Got it. What renovations did you do? Did you do the entire house? Did you just do kitchen? Did you just do bathrooms? Talking about the renovation, okay? From there, you want to dive deeper into the house. How old's the roof? Do you happen to know how old the roof is? Any deferred maintenance? Okay, have you been able to keep up with maintenance? Has maintenance been an issue for you? That's a great question right there. Has it been cumbersome for you? Okay? Compared to any of the homes that have sold near you, do you think you're in better condition or worse condition compared to those homes? Okay, you want to get a snapshot about the condition. You also want to ask about, talk to me about the layout. Talk to me. So it looks like on tax records I see a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Is that accurate? Confirm some of the records that we have on tax, okay? Because they might tell you, actually, no, it's actually the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but we also have a second unit in the back. Well, that could change a whole bunch of things in talking in your later streets about price and our competition in your listing agreement or a cash offer, okay? So elaborate, have them talk about the house. You can ask an open-ended question. Talk to me, what do you like most about the house and what it has to offer, okay? Talk to me, what are some of the things that you wish you could fix about the house? Okay? Talk to me, why did you buy the house in the first place? These are condition type questions. Okay? So we're going to just erase this real quick, and we're going to change this to criteria for buyers. For criteria, here's what I'd ask. I'd say something along the lines of, got it, where do you live now? Well, let's say I live in La Mesa. Okay, fantastic. And you rent there, is that correct? Yeah, I do rent. Okay, so you're renting. And are you in a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom? How big is your house? Yeah, we live in a 3-bed. It's about 1,000 square feet. Blah, 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 blah. Got it. Okay, so in making a possible purchase, what is it that you're going to be looking for in a new home? Do you want to stay in La Mesa? Or are you open to other areas? Or is there some areas that you're really interested in? Well, yeah, for kids or anything along those lines that might require additional space. Okay? Well, that's awesome. How exciting would that be if you were able to get a 4-bedroom house that, close to downtown that you could afford? How would that change your lifestyle? Okay? Talk to them about neighborhoods. What else is important to you? Do you like good cuisine and restaurants? What do you do in your free time? These all can go down into the criteria for a buyer. What are some must-haves? Okay? Right? What are the non-negotiables? Okay? What would be nice to have? These are the wants. If you could afford it, what would you like to have? Would you like a pool? Okay? These are all questions that you want to get about criteria. Do you have to get the entire criteria over the phone? No. Here's what I will say though. If they're talking, let them talk and talk more about it. And try to get a criteria so that if you don't meet with them in person, you're able to then set them up on a Real Scout or a property search at the very least, okay? So just ask enough about criteria to at least do that, okay? Moving on to price. Another thing with criteria is you can start to pitch properties that you do know of, or maybe you don't know of, that might be exciting fits for them to get them excited to come into an appointment. Well, yeah, we're looking for something close to downtown. It's at least 3 bedrooms. It's got to have a yard because I got a dog. Wow, I'm so glad you said that. I actually have a property that's coming up off market. We're not sure exactly when it's going to be ready yet. I'd love to get a chance to go meet you and show you that property. Is that something you'd be interested in? Well, yeah, of course I'd like to see that. Okay, fantastic. Let's go ahead and meet first. Let's have a little consult to make sure we get all our facts lined up and we're ready to go when this property's ready. And these are little things that you can do to go ask for the business out of a criteria. One more note that I skipped. Regard to condition on sellers and listings. Someone just changes back. For condition. If they start telling you, yeah, it needs a little bit of work. Well, I don't know, I haven't been in the home for like 10 years. You're gonna hear this type of thing, okay? To me, that means cash deal, cash deal, cash deal, unless they prove otherwise, okay? If someone says, yeah, it's fully remodeled, and they're able to specifically say all the things that they've done, okay? It's more than likely going to be a listing. So I'm gearing up the entire time. Like I got a laser beam on my head. I'm thinking cash deal listing, cash deal listing, cash deal listing. And here's the thing: you can always go from a cash offer and flip it into a listing later. We'll talk about more of that in additional training. All right, moving on to price. Price. Here's the deal with sellers. We're going to talk about sellers right now, or cash deals, or listings. One of the two. Okay. Talk to me. What do you think your home is worth? What do you think? What do you think it's worth? Here's the deal. Have them answer the question first. All the best negotiators in the world ask questions, get more information first, and then they engage. Okay? What do you think it's worth? What's going to happen is they might tell you something. They might say, hey, I don't know what it's worth. Okay, got it. Dive a little bit deeper. Okay? Well, when's the last time you knew? Okay? Or have you seen any other homes in your neighborhood that have sold? Jog the memory. If they have no idea, well, maybe you're in a good spot to negotiate a cash offer, especially if it needs work. You just don't know what it's worth. And that happens a lot. Maybe they'll say something along the lines of, well, I think it's worth $700,000, but really it's worth $500,000. Have them elaborate on why they think it's worth that amount. Okay? A lot of times also they're going to say, well, what do you think it's worth? You're the one who called me. Okay? What do you think it's worth? Well, that's a fantastic question. It's going to depend on your condition of your home and how the market's currently acting. Okay? Let me ask you this. Maybe you dive back into condition and ask some more questions about it and circle back to the price. Or you could say something like, ballpark. I'm not going to hold you to it. What do you think it's worth? I mean, you have to have an idea, right? Or, look, you know this house better than anyone. What do you think it's worth? Ask them again. Rephrase and ask again for it. If they're really fighting you on it, ask something that's more indirect. Well, have you seen any homes that have sold in your neighborhood in the last 12 months? Or the last 24 months? Have you seen any of them? What did it sell for? Okay? Start asking this question so that they can give you the price. If they come back a couple times saying, you tell me what it's worth, you tell me what it's worth, tell me what it's worth, like, perfect. I'll go ahead and tell you what it's worth when we go ahead and meet together at the property. Okay, it's going to depend on condition and kind of where the market's at, what type of offer I can bring to you. Okay, price. Let's dive a little bit deeper. Let's say it's an out-of-state owner, or you're not able to set an appointment in person, but you want to communicate an offer over the phone. Here's the deal: you can go send the inquiry into deals@gghomessd.com. Also, send it over to our in-house analyst Javier, and we can go ahead and get an analysis done and give you a max allowable offer, MAO. Okay, and you can come back and say, you know what, this is the offer that we can offer for it, for cash. Okay. Maybe you realize it's better off as a listing. You can say something, well, it's probably in this range. Let's go ahead and take a look at it and give you an exact number that I think it would sell for to one of my retail buyers. Okay? Quick off the top, if someone's like, just tell me right now, here's the deal. Go to Redfin and take 70% of the Redfin value. This is for cash. If it's in, this is going for a cash deal. They need to sell quickly, and or, the home needs some work. Go 70% of Redfin value. Or any of the automated values. Go ahead and just do this as a benchmark. Okay, see what they say. If you do, let's say someone's home's worth $1 million. Okay? And you're like, yeah, this is what it says on Redfin. You're like, yeah, we can probably offer somewhere around the 700,000 range. And they come back and say, well, that's offensive. That's way too low. Okay, got it. And there must be something that I'm missing. Okay? That you need to communicate. There's something that we're not on the same track for. Talk to me. Why is it worth more than 700,000? Just get them talking about it again, and it's like, got it. It sounds like I need to go get more information and meet you out of the property. And so then flip this objection into the reason why you should meet, so then you can flip it into a listing. Okay. Price. Let's talk about price for buyers. What's a good place to start? What are you paying right now for rent? Okay? If they can afford $2,000 a month right now for rent, there's a chance that they can also afford this for their mortgage and their everything else all in costs. Okay? Well, on a monthly basis, do you have an idea of what you'd like to spend for a house? On a monthly basis, ballpark, what do you think you'd be comfortable spending? Okay? You can reverse engineer this through a mortgage calculator to understand how much house can they buy. Okay? Spend, okay? Have you been pre-approved? Here's the deal. This is more of an intrusive question. People don't always like to answer this question, okay? Because it requires more involvement. If you have good rapport with somebody, ask a bunch of questions, there's a back and forth conversation, this should be no problem to ask. Well, talk to me. Have you been pre-approved yet? Do you know what that amount is? Okay? And you might want to ask something like, okay, so I understand you're pre-approved, let's say 500,000. Are you familiar with what those payments on a monthly basis? Are you comfortable with those payments for 500,000, which are probably close to about $3,000 or whatever, 2,800 right now? Is that comfortable for you? Or would you like to go a little bit lower than that? Okay. Do you have an idea of what price range you're looking at? Okay. Here's the deal with buyers. Let's say they say, you know what, yeah, I'm in the $400,000 price range. I want a single family home in North Park. As an agent, you should know a $400,000 home in North Park really doesn't exist. Okay. So what would you want to do in this scenario? You would want to ask them, well, got it. North Park, it seems like a lot of single family homes are going, probably like the 550 and up range, and those are ones that are a little bit smaller and need some work. Let me ask you this: Are you open to other areas right around North Park that are within 3 to 4 or 5 minute drive? Okay. Ask them if they're open to other areas if it seems unrealistic. Here's the deal though: get them into a consult. Don't try to do all this thing over the phone. Give them a consult so then you can start to coach them through this thing. Go ahead and show them tangibly. Well, yeah, here we're going to do a search area. Notice there's really nothing at that price range in that desired market area. Are you open to a condo instead, perhaps? We might be able to get that done in North Park. Okay? An idea about price range. Other thing about buyers with price. Have you spoken to a lender? No, you haven't. Okay, fantastic. I'm glad I gave you a call today. I'm going to go ahead and schedule an appointment for you so we can go ahead and get that process started. It's actually fairly quick and easy. Do you work the days or off the days? Schedule. Here's the deal, guys. Schedule the pre-approval. Go do your buyer consult at one of our preferred lenders' offices, okay? For example, Rodrigo's office is right up the road, right in UTC. Schedule it. Don't worry about his schedule. Tell him later, Rodrigo, I have a pre-approval coming in. You better be there, okay? Or someone on your team better be there, okay? Let's get it done. So go ahead and schedule it so you can start the pre-approval. Here's my recommendation. Don't do it over the phone. A lot of people will resort to just saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna have my lender call you. That's only so effective. If I'm really trying to nail a buyer and get them locked and loaded and pre-approved and out into showing property and writing offers that are gonna actually stick, what I need to do, I'm gonna go schedule it at the lender's office. Okay, get the pre-approval done. At the very least, get a phone call, a three-way phone call where they're gonna go through the pre-approval over the phone call together. Schedule the time. So that's price. So this is actually number 4 was price. But moving on, 5. Competition. Okay, for sellers, say something like, God, have you spoken to any other industry professionals about the value of your home? Have you spoken to any other industry professionals about your home? Anything along those lines? Do you have an agent? Okay, when you bought this home, did you use an agent? Got it. Do you still stay in contact with that person? Okay. If you were to sell this home and brought it to market, did you have someone in mind? That's a little bit aggressive because now you're already hinting toward that you're going to bring this property to market if they don't. Okay, so just be careful with that one. But you can ask that question. Maybe a cash offer. Do you have any other offers on the property currently? Huge, huge, huge question to ask. You need to ask about this. If you're up against competition, the truth is you're probably going to bring that offer up to be competitive. Why? Competition will drive prices upwards. Okay, it's supply demand. Okay. Competition. Let's talk about buyers. Is anyone helping you on your home search? Okay. Verify. They said, oh yeah, my mother's helping you. God, is your mother an agent, or is she just helping you out? Okay. Make sure you clarify. Just because they say that their mother's helping her doesn't mean that they're an agent. So you need to ask that follow-up question. Okay, that's how you ask about questions. So, anyone helping you? Who is that person? This is the qualifier. Who is that person? Okay, this is a clarifier. Let's take it a step further. Let's say, yeah, I actually, I had an agent that was helping me. I have an agent. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad you're being proactive. Okay, don't make them feel stupid for having an agent. That's wonderful. I'm glad you're being proactive. How did you get in touch with this agent? How do you get in touch? Oh, I met him on Zillow, or I met him on, they called me, or I met him at an open house. Wonderful. God, how long have you guys been working together? Who is that agent? What's their name? Do they know their name? Okay? Eventually you want to get to the point with how is it going with them so far. You want to see if there's anywhere you can poke holes. Wow, how long have you been looking for? You've been looking for 3 months? Oh, wow. You've been looking for 3 months and you haven't found what you wanted? Let me ask you this. Are you in contract with that agent? Eventually you want to ask, are you in contract? Have you signed anything to work exclusively with that agent? Okay? Here's the deal. You want to tiptoe around it, but if they're not in contract, they're free game. Okay? Obviously, they've written offers on a property. Procuring clause takes over, which means you can't then rewrite that offer on that property with them. Okay? But for the most part, you gotta ask, if they don't have a contract, this is free game. So you need to identify these things. How do you do it? You need to ask them a question about how they get in touch with them. How's that process going? How long has it been? What do you like best about it? There's some things that you would change about your current, working relationship with this agent. What would they be? Are you open to seeing what I could do to help get what you want? Okay? Can I put my hat in the ring? Okay? These are the questions you want to ask. Maybe they say, well, yeah, we have an agent. We haven't signed anything yet. Oh, wow. Okay, got it. Well, let's go ahead and schedule an appointment so we can get together so I can put my hat in the ring so I can give you a second opinion so that based on, after you interviewing myself and this other agent, you'll know you're making the right decision. Does that sound fair? Maybe you want to take a step further. Got it. You want to give an example. Are you the type of person that when you buy something online, do you shop online? Yeah, shop online. Okay, cool. When you shop online, are you the type of person that buys the first thing that pops in, into your inbox or the first thing that pops up on your screen? Or are you the type of person that likes to shop around, read some reviews, and see what other people think are the best options out there for whatever it is that you're looking to buy? Most people shop items. Why wouldn't they shop an agent? Okay, so you could say, well, got it. So just like anything else that you'd pay for online, like you're about to make one of the most important financial decisions in your life. Don't you want to make sure you do it with the right person that knows exactly what they're doing? That would make sense, wouldn't it? These are closed-ended questions that you know the answer to that you want. The answer is yes. Okay, let's go ahead and schedule. Okay, so now we're through a lot of the different questions from motivation, time frame, condition, price, and competition. Again, guys, here's the deal. You don't have to have all of them before you ask for the business. You want to find a spot anywhere in here where you think you can go ahead and ask for the business. And here's my advice. Ask for the business early. Because what happens if they refute the business then, or scheduling of the appointment, you can then loop them back and start talking about these other qualifiers and then re-ask for the business as you build more value and you build more rapport. Okay? Next part is scheduling. Down here. The last 5 is confirmation. Put this back on the board. All right, so part 4, scheduling. Here's the deal. Alternative option. We're going to restate why they should and what to do, what we're going to do, why and what, and then you're going to alternative option, basically in infinity until you schedule. Let me explain this. You're going to restate why you guys should be getting together and how we're going to do that and what we're going to do. You're going to tell them what to do, and then give them 2 options into infinity until you schedule something. So let's explain this. Got it. So, Mr. Seller, it sounds like you need to get this place sold in 90 days. So we got to get started on this thing right away so that you're able to get to Boise, Idaho by June. Okay? Let's go ahead and get together on the property so we can get a game plan together to get this thing sold. Okay? Mr. Seller, do you work during the days or are you off during the days? Okay, that's my alternative option question. Do you work in the days or are you off in the days? It's my favorite one for scheduling. No, I'm off in the days. Okay, fantastic. So what you're saying is we can schedule something in the middle of the day so we can get this home sold. Perfect. Mr. Seller, I have my first available time slot is this afternoon at 4 p.m. or I have tomorrow at 10 a.m. Which one works better for you? Okay, another alternative option question. Do I care if he says 4 p.m. or 10 a.m.? No. Either way, guess what? I win. Here's my advice on scheduling. Schedule around your calendar, not theirs, always, always, always. If you know prospecting is really good from 8 to 10 a.m., don't schedule an appointment at 9 a.m., okay? If you know that you have other things that you can be doing that are important or team meetings, don't schedule an appointment at 11 a.m. on Tuesday or Wednesday, okay? Schedule it around your time. Here's my suggestion. Do everything through your Google Calendar. That's another training. Okay, but make sure you protect your calendar. Give them 2 options until they schedule. So let's say he says, you know what? Actually, none of those 2 options work. No problem. Let me look a little bit further out. Tomorrow I have a 6 p.m. Okay, or I've got a 3 p.m. on Friday. What works better for you? I'm just again in infinity asking this alternative option question. One of 2 options, maybe 3, but I'd recommend only 2 for scheduling until we get a time that works, okay? Let me draw this. And then schedule it, okay? Got it. So Mr. Homeowner, I got you at 3 p.m. on Friday. Boom. That is scheduling. It's that easy. If you get pushback in scheduling, well, I gotta think about it. I gotta talk to my wife. I gotta do whatever. Got it. No problem. Let's just tackle some of those objections real quick. Let's tackle the most common ones. I gotta talk to my wife or husband. Okay. Fantastic. I'm glad you brought that up. That's very important because they're going to need to be part of this decision-making process. Is that correct? Yeah, of course they are. Perfect. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and set it up tentatively, and then I'll have you reach out to your significant other to confirm that also works for their schedule. But we need to get into the books now because otherwise what's going to happen is my schedule's going to fill up, and I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. Let's go ahead and schedule it tentatively for Friday at 3 p.m. Okay? But they say, well, I got to think about it. Here's what I would do. I would go back and I'd restate some of their qualifiers. I'd re-talk about their motivation. Okay? And I'd remind them, like, hey, yeah, I know, I totally understand. You got to think about it. You have a big move coming up to Boise High, and you probably want to go ahead and get that done and make sure it's done correctly. Here's my suggestion. Let's go ahead and meet anyways, because what's going to happen is a lot of the questions and uncertainty that you do have are going to get answered during our meeting. So the reason they need to think about it is the reason that they need to go to the meeting. Okay? Let me draw that bridge for you guys. The reason they need to think about it is the reason they should be at this meeting. Okay? Well, I gotta think about it. Well, I totally understand. I know you're trying to do X, Y, and Z. Here's the deal. A little bit of uncertainty. What you need to think about is the exact reason why we need to get together. Because you probably have some questions that you need answered. Is that correct? Yes. We're going to go ahead and get you the information to this meeting, and then you can make an educated decision on what the best time frame is to sell, or whatever it is. Okay. Bridge that gap. What else can you do here? Okay. Acknowledge that, yeah, I'm not ready to meet yet. Okay, got it. Let me ask you this, and go back and loop them and start ask them more qualifying questions. So loop and ask more questions. Boom. Okay. Maybe you didn't talk to them about condition yet. Okay, and you just asked for the business because they're motivated. They said, yeah, no, I'm not ready yet. Well, okay, got it, no problem. Let me ask you this, Mr. Seller. Talk to me about the condition. Have you done any renovations in the last 3 to 5 years, or is it more original? Boom. Loop them back in, have that conversation going again, get them excited about something again, or another reason why you can solve a problem for them, and then re-ask for the business again. Okay? Get used to this looping technique, okay? It's going to allow you to overcome multiple objections. Moving on. Okay, 5. Confirmation. Love it. I love this. Okay, here's the deal, guys. Without confirmation, your show rate's going to be very poor. Okay, or you're going to have too many unmotivated people actually showing up. Let me explain. Confirmation. What do? Number 1, in confirmation, you want to restate their appointment time. That's self-explanatory. So, Mr. Seller, I have you down for 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. on Friday. We're going to use the 3 p.m. on Friday. That's going to be our time slot. So I have you down for 3 p.m. on Friday at your home at 123 Main Street. Okay? Second thing you're going to do, okay? You're going to give them a polarizing, any reason you can't attend. Let me explain what this is. Mr. Seller, is there any reason, like something crazy like a wedding or a dog's birthday, why you wouldn't be able to show up Friday at 3 p.m. or be present at your home at Friday at 3 p.m.? Okay? Polarizing. Here's why I like it so much. I'm asking them, hey, do you have a real excuse like a wedding, or do you have a BS excuse like a dog's birthday of why you're not going to be able to show up, and you're going to give me, are you going to feed me an excuse later? That's essentially what I'm asking them, but I'm doing it kind of a humorous way. Mr. Seller, is there any kind of crazy reason out there that you wouldn't be able to attend 3 p.m. on Friday, like a wedding or a dog's birthday or something crazy like that? Okay, that's a polarizing, any reason you can't attend question. Okay, they're going to answer, no, I'll be there. Okay, third, are there any other decision makers? And by the way, you can do decision makers as the second question too. That's totally fine as well, or whatever. You can just second or third. Decision makers. I almost like it better as second, but whatever. Okay, decision makers. Is there anyone else that's a decision maker that needs to be present for this meeting at 3 p.m. on Friday? Okay. Is there anyone else on title or the mortgage that needs to be present? Okay. Is there anyone else that's going to be helping you purchase this home? Is there anyone else that's going to be moving into this home with you? Okay, these are the questions that you need to be asking about other decision makers. Can they also make this time frame? Can you confirm that they can also make this time frame? If they can't, tell them this will be a tentative appointment, and they have some homework to do to confirm that they can also attend for this meeting. Here's the deal, guys. Yes, you can get a listing agreement signed with just one person, one party. The problem is you can easily lose that deal. You might sell the husband, but you didn't get the wife, and the wife has another agent, and all of a sudden you lost the deal because you keep the memory that they're ready to sell now. You got the husband on board, okay, but then you didn't get the wife involved, and then she went off and found her own agent, and you lost the deal. These are things you can avoid as you get more experienced. Decision makers, okay? 4, okay? This is the cancellation policy. Oh, this is wonderful. This is one of my favorite parts of the script. So important. Got it. So, Mr. Sell, I have you down for 3 p.m. on Friday. In the event that you need to reschedule, okay, or cancel the appointment, I like to use the word reschedule. In the event you need to reschedule, I do require a 24-hour notice. And the reason for that, Mr. Seller, is if you're not able to make it, I can absolutely reschedule that time with another one of my clients that needs my time and attention. Is it okay with you? Could you make sure you give me a 24-hour heads up if we need to change something? Yes. Let me explain what this does. This makes your time very scarce. They're now going to view you as a person of authority, okay? They're going to view you more like a doctor and attorney, okay? And also, here's the deal. I'd much rather get, and I hope you guys do, much rather get a cancellation or a reschedule 24 hours in advance or further out than a reschedule 5 minutes before my appointment. How annoying are those, right? So ask and explain this cancellation policy, okay? Number 5, email, and then phone number confirmation and Evite. Got it. And Mr. Seller, what's the best email address for you? Don't ask them what's an email address for you. Ask them what's the best email address. Why? It's going to cue their memory to give them the one that they actually utilize the most. A lot of people, I know I have 4 different email addresses, okay? So if someone asks me what's my best email address, I'm going to give them the one that actually counts. Ask them in that verbiage. You're not always going to get the best one, but you do want to use the verbiage. What's the best email for you? Got it. Okay, Mr. Seller, so I have you down at blah, blah, blah at Gmail. Go ahead and restate the email, even if you have to go very slow through each letter. Do it. You want to have the correct email. Worst case scenario, you're going to reschedule or cancellation. You can then drip on them for long-term business. You need to have this email, okay? And explain, hey, yeah, once I have the email, I'm going to go ahead and send you a Google Calendar invite. Okay, this Google Calendar invite will put into your calendar as well and also give you some reminders when the event comes. So if they use Gmail, their notifications, their push notifications are on their phone, which a lot of people do have. What's going to happen is maybe they forgot about the appointment, but you send a reminder for 2 hours prior to give them a notification on their phone. Guess what's going to happen? Their phone's going to ring, say, listing appointment or whatever you name it, a meeting with this agent in 2 hours. That's going to increase your conversion rates, okay? So explain, hey, once you're confirmed and ready for the appointment, go ahead and accept the Evite request via email, okay? Also, let me go ahead and confirm your phone number. Is this the correct number for you, okay? Or do you have any other additional numbers, any work lines? What other numbers do you have? Go ahead and confirm the phone number there, okay? Okay, and then lastly, restate once again, and thank you. Actually, no, I'm missing one, guys. Here, I almost missed one. Caught myself. Number 6, tie down. This is great. Let me ask you this. You're trying to get people to show up to a birthday party or just an outing or whatever. What's the best way to do it? Task them with bringing something. Say, hey, you know what? Hey, buddy, can you grab a couple bags of ice? Everyone's going to be bringing a couple things in, and could you bring ice to make sure our drinks are cold to the party? It would really help. What's going to happen if your buddy is trying to slack off and not show up later on, he remembers, oh, dang it, I'm the one who's in charge of the ice. If I don't show up, there's going to be no ice there, and everyone's going to have warm drinks, everyone's going to hate me. They're more likely to come, okay? Same thing with tie downs here. Not to the same extent, but to some of the extent, it's going to help your conversion rates. Why? You're going to task them with something, a little small piece of homework, so they're already thinking about your appointment, and they're getting prepped for it mentally. And also, they start doing stuff when they're excited now, so it becomes a sunk cost. So if they don't show up to the appointment, they just wasted their time. So let me give you an example, okay? For a tie down, you can say something like, hey, can you bring your most recent mortgage statement? Just the process of getting them to agree to start looking for their mortgage statement, even though it might just be sitting right in front of them, once they have it out, they put it on the counter, they're ready for it, they see it every day, maybe it's on their fridge, your conversion rate's going to go way up. Why? Because they know this appointment's coming. They're thinking about it constantly. Other things, questions. Here's an easy one. Buyer or seller. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you go ahead and write down any questions or maybe concerns that you do have about buying or selling? Okay. I'd love to address those head on with you, because what's going to happen is people are going to start writing out their questions. They're going to start bringing up all the real objections that you're going to get in your appointment anyways. So when they show up conveniently at your appointment, and prompt them to ask questions and write them down and or concerns, it's going to be way easier for you to sell at the appointment. Okay, it's also going to be sunk costs. They're thinking about the appointment in advance, and later on they're starting to get lazy. They're going to realize, you know what? I already went through all these questions. I already got my mortgage statement together. I should just go to this appointment. That's how it works, guys. So this is the tie down. And lastly, down here at the bottom, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. This is just a restate and thank them for the call. Is it super important? Sort of, I guess. Restating why you're programming that time, Friday at 3 p.m. I'll see you Friday at 3 p.m. Okay, you're programming. And then also, thank them for the call. Right then they might have an additional question they give to you, but this is it, and you want to get off the call. One other thing that you can do, okay, that I'm missing, of course, but we're going to add it, is remind them of a phone call. Schedule a time, briefly, that you can give a phone call. So let's say your appointment's at 3 p.m. on Friday. Hey, just so you know, I'm going to give you a call at 9 a.m. on Friday to confirm our appointment. Okay, does that work for you? We'll be able to answer. That's it. So then you can do a phone call to confirm that they're still coming in. Okay, or at least an hour before. So that is from the intro to assessing motivation, in responses, to qualifying, to scheduling, to confirmation. Here's the key points. Get good at the intro first. All this will start to come afterwards. Once you start to get this, then you get good at your qualifiers. Okay? Scheduling, just understand alternative option question until you die or they book an appointment. Okay? Confirmation, go through these motions. If you miss some of these, is it the end of the world? No. Just your conversion rates or your show rate will be lower than someone who does go through these 7, 8 different ways of confirming an appointment. Okay? Once you have all of this, guys, if you can do this, I can go ahead and you can sell anything. It doesn't have to be just real estate. Like, let me give you an example. Okay? If I were to sell tractors, okay? I don't do tractor sales, but how would I sell tractors if I'm doing it? Here's my intro. Hey, this is John. Hey, John, this is Eric with John Deere. Reason for the call, you'd stopped in one of our stores about a month ago. At the time, you didn't pick up a tractor, you didn't purchase anything, but I want to let you know we have a 20% discount on some of our best tractors. Let me ask you this, John, are you still in the market for a tractor, or did you find what you were looking for? Or you didn't find what you're looking for. Got it. Why is it you didn't find out what you're looking for? And John, talk to me. Why is a tractor important to you? What are you going to be using it for? What happens if you don't get one? Okay, is work going to be that much harder for you? Okay. What was your biggest setback from not purchasing at that period of time? Okay. What is your time frame to buy something? Do you want to buy something this week, or do you want to buy something more in the next 3 months? Okay. What type of price range are you looking at? Okay. Are you looking at any other competitors' products? Okay. Got it. John, why don't you come to the office? We can put a side-by-side of our competitors' products and also match what it is you're looking for, and we'll see if there's a good deal that we can get you on a tractor and at least get you all the information that you need to make an informed decision about buying a John Deere tractor or another tractor in the immediate future. John, do you work in the days or are you off in the days? Oh, you work in the days. Okay, got it. So what you're saying, if you need to schedule something after work or on the weekends, is that accurate? Okay, perfect. So John, I got you. I have tomorrow at 6 p.m. or Saturday at 10 a.m. What's going to work better for you? Those both don't work for you? Okay, got it. Do you think more Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning? Sunday morning? Okay, cool. So John, I have a 10 a.m. on Sunday morning or a 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. What's going to work better for you? 10 a.m. works? Okay, perfect. John, I got you down for 10 a.m. so we can go ahead and take a look at some of the competing products and also let you know, see what we have matches what you're looking to do. John, is there any reason you wouldn't be able to attend Sunday at 10 a.m., something crazy like a wedding or a dog's birthday? Okay, perfect. And John, is there anyone else that's going to be a decision maker in helping you purchase this tractor? Like, does a wife need to be there, or anyone else that you're going to be sharing this equipment with need to be there? No, just you? Okay, perfect. And John, if in the event you do need to reschedule our meeting to go ahead and view some tractors, please just give me a 24-hour notice. The reason for that, John, is if I can't schedule you at that time, I can absolutely schedule another one of my clients. I just want to make sure that I can maximize my time. Is that okay with you? Perfect. And John, the email address I have on file is john@gmail.com. Is that the correct email address for you? John, is that the best email address for you, or is there another one that's better? Okay, just to confirm, I have a 619-880 number. Is that the correct one? Do you have an office line or another cell phone or anything else that I need to know about? Perfect. John, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a calendar invite for the 10 a.m. Sunday appointment. Go ahead and hit accept once everything's confirmed. You'll definitely be there. It'll also give you a couple notifications to remind you about our appointment in advance. John, also a little bit of homework I want to give to you is I want you to go ahead and write down any questions that you do have in advance so we can address them right when we get to our appointments. We can maximize our time. So can you go ahead and do that? Anything that you have questions or concerns about or anything that you're really looking to see, go ahead and write that on paper for me. Can you bring that in? Fantastic. And John, I'm also going to be giving you a follow-up call on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Or actually, I'm going to give you a call about 8:30. Does that work for you? Perfect. I'll give you a call at 8:30 just to confirm. And then lastly, John, I see you Sunday, 10 a.m. Thank you so much for your call. Boom. That's it. I can sell anything with this script. In this case, we're selling real estate though, okay, which is probably the right thing to do because you're selling the highest price point, thing that's readily available to most people. So it's a beautiful industry to be in for that reason. This is the call training. Here's the deal, guys. Get good at this template. You can utilize this template in your style and build off of it. What I tell everyone is learn to dribble with your right hand first before you start going between the legs and behind the back, okay, and doing spin moves and dunks, okay? Learn to dribble, learn the fundamentals. These are the fundamentals. Perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed the clip, and thank you.